So once you start something, you must never give up.
Yes.
And for you to not give up is because, yes, there will be some more difficulties, obstacles.
Yes.
But I used to say obstacles are not stop signs, but they are guidelines.
Yes.
So they guide you to success. You must have that inner motivation, so that when the person comes,
there's already
something within you.
Yes.
You see, and you must never have any room for negativity.
Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Kwanda Nyazeka. If it's the first time here, we are talking about everything entrepreneurship, financial education, running your own business, as well as agripreneurship. So guys, I just want to first apologize with the previous videos. There was a bit of noise, which is something that I cannot control. You know guys, I'm just a startup YouTuber. I don't have enough resources, but I'm trying to improve each and every day, you know. And also I tried using the apps that I could use to try and reduce the background noise, which is also something that I cannot control, because I mean it's nature, but I'm trying guys, so please bear with me and understand. I know some of you came to the comments and said that I should fix the sound. Sorry guys, I'm going to try to improve each and every day. As you can see, I'm not in Johannesburg, but I'm still in the Eastern Cape, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing guys. You know, when I was coming here, I was like, this is it. I like doing this. You know, I get to see the places. You know, I'm in Mount Helif, which is Emaklesibeni. You know, but it's very far from town. You know, I was even thinking that I'm going to Flagstaff, you know, because of the distance. And as you can see, I'm not alone. I'm with Mr. Buzwe Dlembula from here in Mount Elif, Gwilali, or the village called Kumanzana. He's going to tell us about his farming journey, how it started, and everything. As you can see, maybe on the background, we are right here on his farm, and there are also people abasebenzayo as we speak. So right. So I hope you're going to enjoy this. And guys, please, I urge you to can you please drop your comment and tell us about what did you enjoy about this video. You know, I really appreciate those people who come and drop their comments there. So I'm going to tell you what I know about Buzwe Dlembula, and then he's going to elaborate more about some of the things that I'm going to mention. So firstly, let me welcome you. Thank you so much for allowing us to come to your farm. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. So Mr. Buzwe Dlembula, he is a farmer, and he is the founder of Dlem's Farming or Farms, the one that you see me on. And he's also a university student. He's studying BSc at the University of Sisulu University. And he's also a tutor. He's tutoring maths and science, and he's having a tutoring company. So I'm going to ask him to introduce himself and tell us about his farming journey. Thank you. Mr. Dlembula, thank you so much for allowing us to come here.
Yes.
Could you please introduce yourself, tell us who is Buzwe Dlembula and what are you doing, and also just elaborate on some of the things that I mentioned.
Okay. Oh, thank you, sir, for coming, and you are so welcome in this farm.
Thank you.
As he has said, my name is Buzwe Dlembula. I'm from Mount Elif, then I reside at Manzana location. So my journey based on farming, in fact. So like, this is what I'm passionate about, you see, because it started from my grandmother, my grandparents, in fact.
Okay.
So they used to farm crop production. They used to have cattle, sheep, all the stuff. You see, in terms of farming. So as she left, passed away, then I decided last year that there is something that my grandmother was passionate about, and what we used to work for. You see, so meaning in terms of farming, I've got these skills from my grandparents. So as a result, that's the thing, in fact, that made me to realize that I should have my own farm. Then it's how I had a farm. So andiphelelanga lapha kwinto ye-farming. I'm a tutor, as you have said, under the company of Raise the Science, of which I'm one of the management. I'm there on the management of Raise the Sciences.
Yes.
So we tutoring maths and science, as you have said.
Yes.
And the other company that I'm having is Umbro Applicants, which helps students to apply in the university institutions.
Okay.
So I'm so broad on the entrepreneurship chain.
Okay.
Yes, I'd say.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's great. You're also studying a BSc. Tell us about that.
Yes, I'm a student at Hotel Sisulu University at NMT,
Yes.
Nelson Mandela Drive.
Okay.
So there I'm doing a Bachelor of Science in Physics together with Computer Sciences.
Okay.
So meaning I'm learning on becoming a software engineer
Okay.
at the same time a physics scientist.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay, that's great. That's great. You know, I like what you just said, that like me, you coming from a long line of subsistence farmers, you know,
Yes.
which is something great, that it didn't only end there, but you said that you are going to continue what your grandparents were doing, which is great.
Yes.
What's your daily dose of motivation? Like what motivates you and makes you to wake up every morning to come here and do the work that you are doing?
Okay. So as I've said, is that first of all, when you love something,
Yes.
you make sure that you work for it.
Yes.
And that love creates a big space, you
Yes.
see,
Yes.
meaning there's a pattern created by love on
Yes.
what you love.
Yes.
I must say. So, meaning love for something or having passion for something, so you'll never feel pain.
Yes.
You'll never feel pain. So that's why I'm saying loo nto leyo indenza ubana like ndihlale ndikhuthazekile
Yes.
apha phakathi kum because yinto endiyithandayo
Yes.
lapha kum.
Yes.
So into xa uyenziswa by means of force, you will feel pain.
Yes.
But when you love it, you will do whatever that is in power to see it produce and multiply.
Yes.
Yes, I'd say.
That's great. That's great. You know, I just like how you are explaining it, and I'm experiencing the teacher in you.
Yes.
And in some way, I thought you were doing Bachelor of Education. you know.
No.
But I say you can be a good teacher. How you are explaining it here,
Yes.
it makes it so clear. That's great. That's great. And then, what inspired you to come to this specific industry? I know you are an entrepreneur and you do so many things, you know, which is not a weird thing. You'd see entrepreneurs, they are interested in a number of things, you know.
Yes.
I always say that sometimes you'd even be confused in what exactly you want to do.
Yes.
So I want to ask you, what inspired you to come into this specific industry? I know you've already mentioned that you come from a long line of subsistence farmers, you know.
Yes.
But then is there another thing that maybe inspired you to come into this specific industry?
Yes. I got the inspiration by seeing young people
Yes.
dealing with land.
Yes.
So like I was so inspired. Worst part is that Mr. Makamela, you know Mr. Makamela,
Yes,
you once
yes.
interviewed him. So
Yes.
he's one of my inspirations.
That's great.
Yes, I got inspired. He's of my age. He's 21 and I'm 21 years old.
Yes,
So,
yes.
like seeing another young man, oh, he's an award winner, all that stuff, doing great stuff. You
Yes.
see, so that's the other inspiration I got from him. So
Yes.
it's a positive inspiration, I'd
That's
say.
great.
So, and secondly, here in South Africa, we're facing so many difficulties
Yes.
in terms of employment, youth employment. There are so many people abahleliyo who are having their degrees.
Yes.
They get sent to school, but later when they've got their documentations, meaning degrees,
Yes.
so they do not get hired.
Yes.
So what I've seen is that in the agriculture sector,
Yes.
there can be more jobs
That are
creation.
created.
Yes, there are so many job opportunities. So in terms of employment,
Yes.
so lo into iye yandikhuthaza nam that okay, I must start my own farm, then
So that
kwalapha
you can create
ekuhlaleni, so that
employment.
kuzawuba createka ilandiza ii-job opportunities.
That's great. That's
Yes.
great.
And coming to young agriculture and young,
Yes.
yes, which is your Facebook group,
Yes.
I've got so many motivations there. I don't wanna lie. So ngenye zinye zezinto eziye zindikhuthaza ubana like I must wake up in the morning and come to my farm. I must make sure that my farm is clean. I must make sure that the workers are working. You see,
yes.
so that spirit of leadership. You
Yes.
see, so I've got that. That group Leana, it has woken a beast inside of me.
That's
you
great.
see, so that like I must keep on pushing. People are posting positive stuff, so I learn a lot from them.
That's great.
Yes, and I like that group because like there is that tendency whereby people say black people know nothing about,
About
land.
land,
About
yes.
land. So there, if I can see, the majority is black people,
Yes.
and they are doing wonders. They are
Yes.
doing miracles.
Yes.
So that what keep me motivated, and I always make sure that each and every day I'm on that group.
That's great.
Yes.
But when you posted on the group that
Yes,
you
sir.
were motivated, inspired by the
Yes.
content that we shared there, I was like, I really need to meet up with you before I go back and put some work in Johannesburg. So I like what you just said.
Yes,
So
sir.
can you please introduce us to Lem's Farms? What are you doing, and when did it start? Yeah.
Okay. Idlem's Farms, it started last year, meaning it was established last year,
Yes.
meaning by 2020.
Yes.
I think it was around August. Yes. And by that time, I was already on that group.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So meaning,
great.
yes, I did have thoughts of starting a farm business,
Yes.
but for me to be on that group, Londo and motivate her more
To start.
Yeah, it
Yes.
has put more effort so that I must do this, I must do this, I must do this. So if it's possible to other person, so
Yes.
meaning it's possible even to me.
That's great.
Yes. So it started last year around August.
Yes.
Then I started doing things to make sure that it's sustained
Yes.
around November, meaning plantation, all that
Yes.
stuff, because I'm dealing with crop production
Okay.
and still to expand
Okay.
because I want to produce like animal
production.
Animal production, yes.
Okay.
So it's still going a broad way,
Yes.
still going a very huge way. So iqale ngoko Idlem's Farms by August, then by November into bese sithetha sesiyibona ke nathi ke
Yes.
siqalisa nokutyala all that stuff.
Okay. That's great. Before I even forget, you mentioned something like which is one of your motivation and inspiration, which is a great thing, saying that you are also motivated to come into this industry by the fact that a number of young people, not even young people who are still willing to work,
Yes.
they are struggling to find employment. So you wanted to come there to bridge the gap and be the employer,
Yes.
And it's also a great thing that you don't want to be part of the problem, but you want to be to bring solution there, to
Yes,
say
to the
that
problem.
I'm going to create employment using agriculture, which is a great
Yes.
thing. Okay. And then what crops are you currently planting here? I can see there's potatoes. Can you tell us, was it easy starting? You're going to tell us about the crop that you are planting here, and also you're going to tell us about, was it easy to start? I know a number of people, when they start, they would be faced with so many challenges, such as your access to land, such as your markets, as well as the funding. So for yourself, was it easy to start? Did you get funding, or how did it happen?
Okay. The crops that I'm having, in fact, the ones that I've planted, it's only potatoes.
Okay.
Yes, because I've just looked first at the market.
Okay.
So who is going to buy,
Yes.
and the community, you see.
Yes.
So like I've seen, okay, we lack so much of potatoes in my
Yes.
community, so it's better if I produce
Yes.
them, as it is my starting point. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, coming to the funding, I'm not funded.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not funded. So, as I'm not funded, I did not come to my senses that as I'm not funded, so I cannot be able to start. So I just started with what I have.
Yes.
So the money that I have to start here, it wasn't sufficient, you see.
Yes.
So I used the money that I used to get from tutoring.
Yes.
As I've said, I'm a tutor. So many schools, they request for my services because, yes, they are so productive. They can
Yes.
see the results.
Yes.
So they request. So I used to get money from the tutoring company.
Yes.
And that's why I've got what I have now. So meaning, yes.
That's great. Which is also another conversation that we are putting out there, that you start with what you have.
You start with what you have.
Don't
yes.
sit in your corner and say that you are expecting funding from the government, because it's not going to come, I like when you are emphasizing and mentioning that, because a number of people or a number of young people, they come to us and say that I have land, but I don't have capital. Where
Yes.
can I get funding? And my response to that question is always that there is no institution, there is no government institution that is going to give you money if you haven't started.
Yes.
I mean, we haven't proven to them that you can really do that.
Yes.
For yourself, you have started, so now you can go to any institution and show them the results of what you have started. So it's easy for them to convince them that you can do this. You already have a case study that you are producing the crops that we are seeing here.
Yes.
And in the next few months or few days, you are also going to be taking these potatoes to the market.
Yes.
I like that you just start with what you have, and then and do not saying that you're not going to start because you don't have funding.
Yes.
That's great. So another question that I want to ask you, it's based on the fact that you are also an entrepreneur, as you are also an agripreneur. I want to ask you, what's the connection? What are some of the things that you took from your entrepreneurship journey? The fact that you are a tutor, you are rendering services of tutoring to the schools. What are some of the lessons that you took and then you implement them here in agriculture or in entrepreneurship? I'm asking this question because a number of young farmers, they sort of separate the two, agriculture and entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Not understanding that agriculture and entrepreneurship, they go hand in hand, because I mean, if you're a farmer, you're also going to have to be an entrepreneur and take your produce to the market.
Yes.
So I want to ask you, what are some of the lessons that you learned from your entrepreneurship journey that you took to implement here in your agricultural journey?
Okay. For instance, what I've learned is that if you're a businessman or an entrepreneur,
Yes.
like your mind is to be sharp.
Yes.
You are nothing without a sharp mind.
Yes.
And I've learned about the spirit of leadership.
Yes.
You see, the spirit of leadership, as you can see there, I've got my own workers.
Yes.
Ne?
Yes.
I didn't stay at home and just send them to the farm.
Yes.
That you must go do this and that and that.
While
A
we're at
leader
home. Yes.
has to be present in the farm and
great.
work with its workers.
That's great.
Yes.
That's
So
great.
that's the spirit of leadership. And there is a quote that I have on my diary which says, an army of sheep
Yes.
led by a lion will always defeat an army of lions led by a sheep. So meaning a leader can transform cowards into violent warriors.
Yes.
That's it. That's the spirit of leadership that I've learned from my entrepreneurship journey.
That's
Yes,
great. That's
it.
great. That's great. I like that, and I'm sure that even some of the other things that you can't even mention now, they sort of are coming to help you here.
Yes.
For example, one thing that I always think about is that character trait of perseverance and being patient.
Yes.
Because the journey is not always the easiest. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to understand that. So you're going to take that and put here in agriculture, that even here you need to persevere, you need to be patient and make sure that what you are doing, it succeeds, right?
Yes, and I like it when you speak about patience.
Yes.
Because many people fail just because they do not have patience.
Yes.
And they like staying on their comfort zones.
Yes.
So I do not recommend staying in your comfort zone. As an entrepreneur, you have to sweat.
Yes.
You have to have scars.
Yes.
You see. So once you stay in your comfort zone, it's where you will fail.
Yes.
You must put some pressure on everything you are doing. Just put some pressure on and make sure that it's productive.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How do you manage? I mean, you are doing a lot of things. You are a tutor. You have a tutoring company.
Yes.
You have university applications company.
Which is Umbro applicants.
Yes, and then you have this Lems Farms. You're
Yes.
also a full-time student. How do you manage to do all these things? I'm also asking this question because sometimes people would be asking, but how do you get the time to tackle all these things? So can you please enlighten us? How do you manage all these things?
Okay. Firstly, I've got my own supervisors per company. So people who let me know about everything that's happening in the company.
Yes.
So the other thing that makes me to manage, for instance, at school, we were learning online. I don't know about this year.
Okay.
So we're learning online. So I just use that time. Okay, maybe let's say my classes are starting from 8, then end at 12:01.
Yes.
Then from 1 in the afternoon until that time, because entrepreneurs do not sleep.
Yes, they don't
They
sleep.
do not sleep. There's no comfort zone for entrepreneurs. You have to sweat.
Yes.
So like I use that time to attend all
Other
these
things.
companies. Yes, all the other companies.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how I use. I just schedule on my time. I work with time.
Okay.
Yes. Make sure that I've got something that I do per company each and
Okay.
every day.
Okay.
Yes. So there's no time to sleep.
Yes.
There's no time to relax. No time for going out or just other things. The companies have to grow.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's great. That's great. I like everything that you are saying, you know, especially the fact that you're saying that you're basically saying that there is nothing that comes out of comfort zone. So
No,
if
there's nothing.
someone would want to always be comfortable, you're not going to grow, you're not going to get anything done if you are always like being in the comfort zone.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. So another important question that I want to ask you now is that a lot of young people, they always come, especially on the group, and someone says that I want to farm, but I don't know where to start.
Yes.
What can you say to that person?
Okay. I'd give a word of advice to that person.
Yes.
In terms of farming, it doesn't mean that when you want to start farming, you must have your own land.
Yes.
You can borrow maybe a garden to any family which is not in use.
Yes.
Then you start your own thing. Maybe you make negotiations with the person who owns that garden.
Yes.
Then you can start your own farming with what you have.
Yes.
So this thing is about finding the place to start farming.
Yes.
And we are from, if I can say, we are from rural areas. So in rural areas, there are so many gardens.
That's true.
And there is land in
Yes.
rural areas.
Yes.
Maybe ungathatha insimi okanye uye kulowo mntu lo onegadi angayisebenzisiyo and borrow it for agricultural use.
Yes.
Yes. So, and you start with what you have. That little thing you have
Yes.
is gonna make something.
That's great.
It's gonna make something. Yes.
That's great. Nizvelege, guys, I hope you are learning from what he's saying, that you don't need to have your own land. I know a number of people, when you're about to start something, we always have this idea that someone, I want to go big or go home. Sometimes you don't even have the resources to start big, you know. So you just start with what you have. And also, like he said, that you can go to someone who's having a garden that they are not using, or the fields, you know, even here, especially here in the Eastern Cape, there's a number of fields and many of them are not being used anymore, you know.
Yes.
Same applies with the gardens. You'd find out that the old people that were using the gardens, they are no longer able to work the gardens. So you can go, you are still young, you are still capable, you can go there and ask to utilize those gardens. And then coming to people who are in cities and townships, because they're also, especially in our group, they come and say that I'm in a township and there is no enough land, you know, and we do understand that in the townships there is no enough land. There's just a small land to build your own house. So my advice there, like I said on the group, that is there is a school in your township, and you'd find out that the school has enough land, or there's even a guard that they are not using. So you can go there and negotiate with the principal or the SGP to say that I'm a young person here, I want to do something for myself.
Yes.
What can I do? Can I use the school's garden to produce something, you know? And I know a story of a young person who did the exact thing, and then the next thing, they were selling their produce to the school, you know. So it means that step of taking that step to go to the school, it created an opportunity for that person. And like I always say, that if you don't take that one step, you're not going to know what is possible and what you can do. Yeah.
Yes.
And then how many hectares is your farm, and what are you planning? What are your future plans? What do you want to see here? And when we come here, maybe in the next a few years,
Yes.
What can we expect?
Okay, my farm is 4 hectares.
Yes.
Yes, it's 4 hectares. But still, I've got another place which is not in use
Okay.
for now. Yes.
Okay.
So these 4 hectares that I'm using, I've still cultivated. Maybe it's 2.75 hectares.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
the one that I've planted for now.
Okay.
And this is my small.
Okay.
As I've started small, so this is it.
Okay.
The one that I've started on. So like when you're coming back here on few years,
Yes.
in fact, I must say at the end of this year, like
Okay.
it will be something.
Okay.
Something perfect.
Okay.
Something perfect, because I'm working on it. I'm putting some pressure on. There's no time to rest.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. I'm learning every day. The more I meet these young people are doing the most, I'm also learning each and every day. From what you just said, you're saying that you don't like have time to go out.
No.
You're reminding me of the quote that I saw, that it's fine to be boring.
Yes.
Because the goals that you have, they require your full determination.
Yes.
If you're going to have your time to be out, going out and do some other things, you're not going to be able to achieve those goals.
Yes.
So in what you're about to achieve here, I wish you all the best, and I know that it's going to happen. The fact that you have taken that one step,
Yes,
it's
sir.
going to happen. It's going to happen. So what are the can you please give like maybe 3 advices that you can give to a young farmer, or not even a young farmer maybe, but someone who's having thoughts of getting into business? What are some of the main advices would you give to that person?
Okay. Firstly, my advice is not to give up.
Okay.
So once you start something, you must never give up.
Yes.
And for you to not give up is because, yes, there will be some more difficulties, obstacles.
Yes.
But I used to say obstacles are not stop signs,
Yes.
but they are guidelines.
Yes.
So they guide you to success.
Yes.
And when you take a step that, okay, I'm starting this, and you get started, so meaning you are exposing yourself to the world of opportunities.
Yes.
You see, there is a lot that you can achieve just from a single step that
Yes.
you are getting started.
Yes.
You see, so meaning you are exposing yourself from many, many, many opportunities to come to you.
Yes.
You see, so you must never give up, and you must get started, and you must always be motivated.
Okay.
You must always be motivated. Make sure that there is that thing that keeps you motivated, even if the situation is so bad. In fact, it's critical.
Yes.
But you must have that inner motivation, not a person that will come to you.
And
You
say
just
that
go
you can do
seek
this.
for a motivation. You can do this and do this and do that. You see,
Yes.
you must have that inner motivation,
Yes.
so that when the person comes,
There is already something.
there's already something
drive.
within you.
Yes.
You see, and you must never have any room for negativity. That's what I always used to say. You must just fly above negativity. If you can see an eagle, when there is a storm, an eagle just fly above the clouds.
Yes.
You see, so it
Yes.
doesn't get affected by the storm. So you must just fly above negativity. Create no room for negativity.
That's
Never
great.
and ever do that.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great. Nizvele, guys, that you should never give up. You should never give up. That you should never entertain negativity, and you should also always have your internal fires that are driving you
Yes.
to do something. Don't expect someone to come to you and say that you are doing great or you can do this. But
Yes.
it should come within you. Those internal fires are going to push you to the next level. Yeah.
Yes, and what I used to say is that I used to speak about the bicycle.
Yes.
In order for a bicycle to maintain its state of balance, it has to be on motion.
Yes.
So no matter how bad it is in your business or any company that you are having, or life problems,
Yes.
you must just be on motion.
Yes.
Keep moving forward.
That's
Yes.
great. That's great.
You will just be on balance.
That's great. That's
Yes.
great. You are taking us to physics now. I'm hearing
Yes.
the laws of physics, the Newton's laws.
Newton's law.
That's great, guys. So if you are familiar with physics, I'm sure you understood that.
Yes.
You're reminding me that law that says that things will remain at rest unless it is acted upon. So,
Yes, that's Newton's first law
Yes.
of motion. That's Newton's first law of motion.
So, guys, if you don't do something, if you don't act, there's nothing that's going to happen.
Yes.
So be like the bicycle that is talking about, that you need to start. When you start, you always be in motion.
Yes, and you'll always be on your state of balance.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. And then let me ask you this question. I know I've been asking young farmers this question to say that we're in South Africa, and in South Africa, especially today, there's a lot of young people that are unemployed. some of them, they didn't get the opportunities to go to universities. Some of them, they went to universities, but still they find themselves unemployed. What can be your words of encouragement that you can say to those young people? Or maybe what can you advise them to do?
Okay. The best thing I would say to those young people who are unemployed and to those ones who haven't gone to university
Yes.
is that you must start your business.
Yes.
Any business. I'm not gonna specify agricultural business just because I'm in the agricultural sector.
Yes.
Ne?
Yes.
Any business that you imagine of,
Yes.
because everything starts from imagination,
That's true.
and imagination is the preview to life's coming attractions.
That's true.
So that business you think of starting, it's God who is creating that imagination that you
Yes.
can be something out of this thing.
And you can do it.
Yes. So you must fulfill your imaginations, because I'm sure many of them, they do have those business plans. They are thinking of business. Okay, I'm thinking of this. I'm thinking of this. Just get started and stop thinking about it.
That's great. That's great. It's very, guys, that you should just start. I always say that start. You are not going to know if you can do something if you don't start. You are going to have these ideas that are already in your mind.
Yes.
But if you don't start, there's nothing that's gonna come out of that.
Yes.
If you don't start, you are having the ideas only in your mind. It's not going to make you money. It's not going to pay your bills. So you just need to start. Take that one step and get in there. And I like what he's saying, that you can start any kind of business. And another thing that I can put there is that a number of people would come and say that not everyone can be a businessman. And I always counter argue that to say that starting a business is like going to school. You didn't know from day one that you can
Yes.
be able to go to school, but it took you 12 years maybe to be able to say that, okay, fine, it's school can also happen for this person. Same applies to a business.
Yes.
If you start now and say that I'm starting now in grade 1 in business,
Yes.
the more
yes.
you proceed, that's where you're going to get better and
Yes.
get perfect at
and
it.
gain more knowledge.
That's great. Yes, that's great. So, is it? I'm going to ask you. This one is specific to your case. Was it easy starting this Lem's Farms? Was it easy? And maybe what's one challenge that you faced when you were starting?
It wasn't so easy. It wasn't easy. Like, it was so hard. So the first challenge that I faced is the financial challenges.
Okay.
Yes, but I did manage. Hence, I get hosts.
Yes.
Yes, hence get requests from the hosts. Yes, to schools that I must go tutor there, and I do get some money from EMBRO applicants when it's time for applications.
Okay.
Yes, then that's the money that I used. So meaning, if these businesses
We're not there. Yes, you
it
wouldn't
was-
have started.
I wouldn't have started.
Okay.
Yes,
great.
that's it. So the major problem is the financial
Aspect of it.
aspect of it. Yes, and then coming to the land, as I've advised people that it's not a must for you to
Have your own land.
Yes, to have your own land. You can still go borrow the land. You see, so I mean the major problem is the finances.
But I'm sure and I'm certain that you are going to overcome that. I mean, you've started.
Yes.
Like I said, that you already have a case study. You can go to institutions like NYT and say that I've started this. Can you please fund me to grow here? And it's easy to convince them. And also, before I forget, I want to say I like what you're doing. All these projects that you are involved in, because they are key projects that are needed, especially in rural areas.
Yes.
Because I mean, in rural areas, a lot of students, they don't know how to apply for universities. So if you have your company like the ones that is doing applications for them, and also offering them the medicine science tutoring, those are the key projects that I like, which are sort of try to empower children or kids from rural areas as well, because we see these things there in big cities, which also contribute to them performing well in school.
Yes.
So I like the projects that you are involved in. We are now towards the end of the interview. So can you please tell us about an event or a person or a book or a movie, anything which you can say that it had a positive impact in your life?
Okay, like in terms of motivations, I used to watch Steve Harvey.
Okay.
So yes, I get more inspiration from him.
Okay.
Yes, that guy is promoting positive vibes.
Okay.
Yes, so I get lots of motivation there. That's why like I'm always having that internal fire within me.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. You're the second person actually to mention Steve Harvey.
Yes.
So if you're looking for someone who's going to inspire you every day, you can go and look for Steve Harvey.
Yes.
He's going to give you what you're looking for. And then tell us, is there a book that you are reading currently?
No, currently there's no book.
Okay.
There's no book.
Okay.
Yes. Or in fact, there is one. I've just forgotten. It's Think and Grow Rich by
Okay.
Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
Yes. I've just read some few chapters there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I was actually surprised because I heard you when you said that. Everything it started as an idea. I know that it's a chapter. In Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich. Yes. I've just forgotten.
Okay. That's great. And then the last question now. Where can someone find you if they want maybe to support what you're doing? Where they can find you? You can tell us about your address, your location, your social media platforms.
Okay. They can find me on Facebook by the name of Buzwe Dlembula. Then I just reside here in Mount Alief at Manzana location. Yes. Then when I'm not around here, meaning I'm at school at Walter Sisulu University, Nelson Mandela Drive.
Okay.
And they can get me on WhatsApp. My number is 074 274 8867.
That's great. Thank you so much for allowing us to come here.
Yes.
That's the end of the interview. If maybe guys you had more that you wanted to hear, I promise you we are going to come here in the next few years to see sort of progress that is going to be here, and as always, like I always say, that I'm inspired, I'm motivated when I see young people championing and engineering these kind of projects, because we sort of see always we always had to see like your white old people who are working the land,
Yes.
But when more young and black people coming into the space, I'm sure a lot of change is going to happen. A lot of opportunities are going to be created for people.
Yes.
So thank you so much for allowing me to come here. It's greatly appreciated, and I wish you all the best in the projects that you are working on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.